to talk to you about my story time involving my Midnight Man experience. Finally doing a video on this. If I die during this, guys, someone's gotta come take Ember because fuck, this is gonna suck. I saged the room before I started this actually, just to take precautions because this is a very real situation in my life and it's very serious for me. A lot of people doubt me on it and a lot of people think I'm just probably making this up, but it's something that's affected me for over a year and a half now, so it's something I take really seriously. This happened about a year and a half ago with my sister when we decided that one night we were bored and wanted to play a game that we found on Creepypasta. The fact that it was on Creepypasta is probably what made me think that this wasn't a real thing, that this was just some game like Bloody Mary where you say her name 3 times and turn off the lights and nothing happens. But it wasn't. In order to play this game, you need the materials of a authentic wooden door. Can't be that fake shit that we get in the houses nowadays. You need a candle that will burn for at least 3 to 4 hours. You don't want anything shorter than that. Honestly, don't take notes on this because don't play this game. This game is not something you want to fuck with. You need a pen, a piece of paper, and you need a drop of your own blood. Which is right there is when you should know that what I did was really serious, because what we basically did was a blood binding spell that fucked us over in the long run. The rules consist of this. This is how you play the game. You have a wooden door. It has to be real wood that you sit down at around 11:55 is a good time to begin. You want to have the time to light your candle, write your name on your piece of paper, prick your finger for blood, and put it on the paper, and prepare to knock, and you have to knock 22 times, the final knock falling at the strike of midnight. Upon the final strike, you want to open the door and say welcome. At that point, you're welcoming the Midnight Man into your home. What we didn't know is that this game isn't a game at all. It's actually a ritual performed by pagans when they break laws. They use it as a punishment more so. So, my sister and I, without that knowledge, had decided that night that we were going to play the game. My other younger sister was home and agreed to stay with the baby if we agreed to put up a salt line at the door of my room, which I happily agreed to do. That night, my sister and I got all of our supplies together. Her dad was in bed, who's my stepdad, and my mom had been at work and she would be at work till late that night. That night, my sister and I had decided that we were going to play the game downstairs where we had a double door system where one door led to our laundry room and one door led to our bathroom. Both doors were authentic wood, like real wood. They weren't the fiberglass that you find in most houses these days. They were real. So we started our ritual and everything went correct. We sat down. We had time to write our name on our paper, to light our candle, to get our matches, to get our lighter ready. Matches, we're not in the 19th century. To get our matches ready. Oh, fucking hell, why the fuck did I say that again? To get our lighter ready and our sea salt, which we both had our own canister in case we need to perform a salt circle around ourselves. Part of the game is if your candle gets blown out, you need to light it within 5 seconds or less. Otherwise, he can get you. If you don't succeed in doing this, you must do a salt circle around you, and you have to stay in that circle till the remainder of the game, which ends at 3:33 in the morning. For those of you who do not know, 3:33 is the demonic haunting hour. For most people, that's what a lot of people consider it, because it's the closest time where both of the forces, like the lines in the dimensions, universes, whatever people like to call them, are the weakest between the spirit world and our world. We sit down, we have everything ready, our candles are lit, our salt is there, our lighters are there, our name is there, we prick our fingers, and we apply our blood to the paper. Both of us did it. And at that point, I was beginning to feel a little bit uneasy, like maybe we shouldn't be doing this, but at the same time, nothing had ever really happened in my life that I was like, oh, ghosts are real, demons are real, everything is real, like this is real. Nothing had ever happened to me, so I was like, okay, let's do this. We had a timer on our phone counting down till midnight. So as it slowly got closer, we had 30 seconds left, we began our knocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up till 21, where we hesitated because we're just a second off. And then right at the strike of midnight, we did our final knock, and in unison, we opened our doors and said, welcome. You must blow out your candle, and then relight it within 5 seconds. We blew out our candles and relit them. we had begun the game. The entire house was dark. Ember was asleep, my sister was asleep, my stepdad was asleep. Ember was in the bed with my sister in my room at the moment. Her door was shut, that area was off limits. We began our game by getting up and walking from down the hallway, which connected to our kitchen, which connected to our dining area. We went from there to there, around the corner to where our stairway was. As we came around the corner up to our stairs, I sat there and just looked around. Nothing was happening, it was silent. We walked back from our stairway down to where the living room was, and then back, and it had been about 5 minutes and nothing was happening. We didn't see anything. And it was at that point where I looked at her and I was like, dude, this is fake. Nothing's happening. Like, nothing is gonna happen. And almost on cue, right after I said that, our cats, who had been upstairs, shot down the stairs like fucking torpedoes and went past, slid on our hardwood floors, across the floor almost, and darted back down the hallway, downstairs, into our living room. The only thing that was really strange about this, because our white cat always did shit like this. She was always a spaz, but she was accompanied by our massively overweight other cat who almost never did, like, I'd never seen him do that before, like, ever. I have goosebumps just thinking about it because it freaks me out to think about how this happened. And so they shot into there, and I looked at Maddie and I was like, that was weird. And she was like, yeah, that was really weird. Maybe we should keep doing this. Because at that point, I had been pressing the fact that this was dumb and we should just stop and we should turn everything off. And we should just go and, like, go back to our rooms and do our stuff for the rest of the night. Because I did not want to walk around that house in the dark for 3 hours with a goddamn candle. It was right about then that we turned around the corner and I got the biggest chill down my spine as both of us rounded the corner. Towards the back left corner of our living room was a shadow. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, you're kidding. Like, you know you're kidding, right? Like, we know it's not true. This is a lie, you're making this shit up. But I shit you not. It was just a large, massive shadow to the point where I was so scared that I just got up and dipped. Like, we dipped. We just pivoted and turned around and went straight upstairs. As we got up to the upstairs, I remember in our upstairs living room that the stairs lead into, the fan was on, so I had her take my candle and I went and shut it off. We decided to take a left instead of a right to avoid the fan while it turned off. It eventually turned off, and I remember it turning off as we came back downstairs. It was slowly going and we went downstairs. Nothing had been upstairs. At this point, we were just pacing the house, pacing the house, pacing the house. We weren't sure if I had just been tripping in the first few seconds or if there was actually something there. We get downstairs, we walk into our kitchen, and at the base of our island, both of our cats are just sitting there. They never sit next to each other, as one is a male and one's a female, and they're typically really aggressive towards each other, so they tend to avoid each other. But in perfect unison, they're sitting next to each other, their tails puffed up, just staring into our dining room. This set me off enough to the point where I told Maddie I wanted to go back upstairs. We turned around and went back upstairs. As we went upstairs, I felt a breeze, and I was like, what? Like, how is that even possible? I looked up, and the fan in the conjoining living room upstairs was going full throttle. There's no way in hell that fan could have turned on its own. I went over to check the switch, and the switch was off. At this point, I guess I started to believe it, and I guess I was kind of like, okay, shit, this is real. Like, we're fucking with something real. We went downstairs, and as we came around downstairs, we have a mirror at the base of our stairs that you can see kind of clearly either way. And as I was going, there's a closet door just to the left with a bunch of coats. I looked over, and out of the peripheral of my eye in this mirror, I saw a large shadow by where the coats were. At first, I thought it was just me, and I didn't say anything. But I can feel my sister nudge me and go, Lacey, do you see that, right? Like, that's not just me. And I was like, fuck yes, I do. Like, I see that too. So we ended up biffing it down the last 3 stairs and rounding the corner the opposite way into the living room. It seemed like most of the activity came from the base of the stairs in the connecting dining room. Because as we were in the living room, back towards the back wall of it, where you can get a kind of view into our dining room, seemed like it was almost the energy. It seemed like it was wavering. I know that sounds so strange, but like it was like you could feel it. Like you could just feel this negativity like just pulsating out of the room in like waves. It almost made me sick. Like it was making us feel like blacky outy almost, like, but that could have honestly been our anxiety and our adrenaline and everything of the sort. So we're walking around, everything's fine, and then all of a sudden both of our cats who had remained at the base of our island in our kitchen, you could see them. Our white cat slunk in there before the orange. The orange cat, Jeno, he decided to stay back. Gypsy, our white, decided that she was going to actually go in there. She darted in there and with a crash came running back out, like something had like struck her, like something had hit her. And from that, she proceeded to avoid that room, run to our fish tank, hop up onto the lid of our 150-gallon tank, and just sit there and watch us the entire night. She did not get back down. After this happened, Maddie and I were completely sketched out. We decided that it was time to go upstairs. We went back upstairs, and as we got up to the stairs, I walked towards our living room. The fan was off. It was completely off. We hadn't touched it. We had just evacuated the room after it had flipped out. And conjoined to this room is my room. The door had been shut, the salt line had been intact, and as we approached, I saw a glow coming from my room. The door had been cracked open and was open about this much. This was probably what scared me the most because my daughter and our youngest sister was in there. So I immediately shut the door and I was like, okay, we need to go downstairs. We need to figure out how to end this. So we go back downstairs, and as we're going downstairs, we get down to the bottom floor and I have my candle. And I'm just walking, looking, walking, and then all of a sudden my candle goes out. But it wasn't just like a wind go out. You could hear it go like when someone licks their fingers and pinches a flame. I begin to panic. I take my lighter and I'm lighting it. First try, no. Second try, no. Third try, no. It's almost up to the 5-second mark, and finally it gets lit. I was absolutely shitting myself. Maddie's sitting there with her own candle in her plate, and she's just staring at me. She's like, there's something in here. There's something behind you. We need to get out of here. So I moved to turn, and I had my phone. And as I did that, I took 2 photos. And I didn't check my phone for the rest of the night. It wasn't until later that I had opened these photos, and I'll attach a photo real quick, that I completely lost my mind. I don't know what's in this picture. I have tried to backtrace it. I have tried to image search it. Please, those of you who can, take this picture, enter it into Google, and if you can find a face to match the face that I see in this photo, then please tell me that I'm fucking crazy and I'm just imagining shit or something. Like, somebody please explain this to me. We didn't see that photo till the next day. We kept playing the game. We played for about another hour until we came downstairs from a trip upstairs after about 30 minutes of no activity. We didn't see anything. There was nothing. And we came back downstairs around the corner, and it was almost like in a movie. All the shelves on our left wall of the kitchen, like all the the drawers and stuff, were completely opened, perfectly open. Like someone had gone and meticulously opened each individual cabinet, each drawer perfectly. Like, they had taken the time to do this in the 30 minutes that we had been wandering around. Not even that, we had been upstairs for like 5 minutes tops. 5 minutes this had happened. I want to believe that my stepdad snuck down and fucked with us or something, but I don't think that's possible. Once that happened, I honestly got so scared that I was like, fuck this, this is not fucking happening. I blew out my candle and I walked my ass upstairs, over my salt line, and went to sleep. That's where I fucked everything up. That's where I made this awful. What we did was basically cheating. I did not close a portal that I had opened. I did not finish a game with a demon I had welcomed into my own home. In his opinion, I had cheated. My sister had cheated. That night, I had the worst nightmares I've ever had in my fucking life. Like, honestly, like, I woke up, like, dead sweat. Like, what it was, the nightmares consisted of this. These nightmares still happen to me to this day. It starts off in our old house. It's a viewpoint from the outside of the house. There's nothing. You don't see anything. You don't see anyone. It's just our house. It's almost like it's fast forwarding, just floating into the upstairs. It goes down. It's night. It goes down through our front door, up the stairs. It goes all the way up the stairs, through the living room, through my door. My door opens. It goes past me. I'm sleeping there in the bed. It goes past me to my daughter's crib, and it just stops and stares. But I don't know what it is, and all I can feel is this heavy, heavy, heavy feeling of just dread and, like, anger and darkness, and it's overpowering. It's almost like you wake up and you're sick to your stomach because you just can't handle, like, these feelings. Like, it's awful. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's something I don't want anyone to ever have to feel. And so the next morning I wake up and I go downstairs. I have Ember, my sister's down there, my other sister's down there. And Maddie looks at me, she's like, I didn't sleep well at all. Like, I did not sleep good. And I was like, neither did I. I had nightmares. And my stepdad comes around the corner, he's like, that's really weird. I had nightmares all night too. But he wasn't involved. Like, he had no interaction in the game. He was not involved in this whatsoever. So that day, I decided I need to figure out what we did and if what we did was dangerous for us and the people in our house. I ended up calling a store called the Psychic Eye here in Vegas, and I spoke on the phone with the psychic for about an hour. She informed me that what I had done was I had opened a portal and I had cheated in his eyes. He was pissed. This demon, this creature, whatever it was pissed. I asked if I could sage my house to get rid of it, if I could do anything. And she told me maybe if I had done something such as a Ouija board, I could have. But the fact that I had done a real pagan ritual and offered my blood to this thing had binded it to me and my daughter and my family and everything in the house. What we had to do is we had to play again that night. So that night we get everything ready, and I was just feeling so bad about this all day. I could just feel dread in me all day. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to have to do it again. We didn't want to have to do this. I had posted about it on Twitter, and I don't know. It just felt angry. Like, our house felt angry that day. And we waited all day. Kennedy, my younger sister, took Ember for the night, and Maddie and I got ready at our doors. We pricked our finger once more. We lit our candles once more. We wrote our names down once more, and we counted down from midnight once more. The game started fine. It started normal, just like it had the first night. 15 minutes, nothing. 30 minutes, nothing. An hour, nothing. It wasn't until it hit about 11:30, which is the initiation of, like, the haunting hours, that shit started to go bad. My cats were walking around the house completely puffed up, completely mad. They do that growl almost, like the meow thing. And my white cat was doing it. She was just walking around. You could tell there was tension. My sister and I are walking. We're going around corners, just scared as fuck. Like, waiting, just waiting for something to happen, waiting for anything to happen. The hours are ticking down. But shockingly, nothing happened, really. There was a little bit at the end where we were coming around the corner into the living room, and in the dining room, in the middle between the two curtains, there was just this tall, dark, humanoid figure. We both saw it. We both knew it was there, and I can't explain to you the feelings. Like, I can't explain it to you. And sure enough, we ended up avoiding it. We ended up finishing the game. Like, as you say, finishing the game. And we made it till 3:33. We blew out our candles, and I guess we were supposed to be done. And we told him goodbye. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to say, you may leave my house now. And you reopen and shut the door. And he's gone. But honestly, I don't think he's ever really left. because since then we've had countless activity. We've had every drawer in my house, my new house that we moved into months later, was open one morning when my stepdad came down. Every single drawer perfectly open, perfectly set up. My daughter's toys get moved so they're sitting perfectly on couches watching TV. Like, it's just little things. I've talked to people. I've rose nettle barriers. I've put sage in my house. I've had sidekicks talk about coming and cleansing my house. I've had myself cleansed. I've talked to sidekicks in person and nothing has helped. I've talked to bishops. I've talked to high priestesses. Nothing has helped. This isn't really a story time to talk about my experience, I guess. It's more of a story time to give you guys a warning that this stuff is real. This stuff follows you. Like, I am not going to be getting away from this anytime soon. And y'all guys can believe me. Y'all guys can say I'm lying for attention, like whatever you want. But honestly, at the end of the day, you're not living what I'm living. You're not seeing what I'm seeing. You're not feeling these constant nightmares that I'm getting still to this day from it. Like, it's crazy. I'm still trying to figure out how to work this out, but ultimately, I binded him to me. I binded not even him, but just a demon, demonic energy, something, whatever you want to call it, to me is binded. He has a blood offering of mine. My sister doesn't get this as much as I do, but it's also due to the fact that I've always been really susceptible to this kind of stuff, and I've always been interested in the arts and the dark arts. So, I don't know. Like, y'all, this is my story time. Like, it's not happy, it's not fun, it's not bubbly, it's not full of laughter, because it's not funny. This is me just asking you guys to really take a step back next time you guys decide you want to play with witchy magic and funny games you find on the internet that involve the spirit world. If anything involves your blood, if anything involves offering yourself to it, don't do it. Look into the games you're going to play before you play them, because they can follow you and follow you and follow you. I still get nightmares to this day, the same exact nightmare I got that night. And I don't know, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry this is such a mellow, like, morbid story. You guys wanted it really bad. And I've been putting off filming this because I'm scared you guys will think I'm crazy. You'll think I'm lying. You'll think I'm doing this for attention. Anything. Who knows what the internet's gonna pop at me this time. But yeah, that's my story time on the time I summoned a demon into my life. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, please subscribe. I hate when people say that, but it would still mean a lot. I appreciate all of you guys. I see that in all the YouTubes, like the pro YouTubers, so I'm gonna try to be a pro YouTuber. So there you go. Thank you guys. Mwah.